Hello, viewers.
Hi, guys.
Listeners.
How are you?
What's that? What's this new setting? Weird that we're in this. I mean, for anybody who's been watching our channel, or well, I guess just watching our channel for the past 6 years, you will have noticed
5.5 years. Yeah,
5.5 years. You'll have noticed that where we've been filming has largely remained unaltered.
Well, no, that's not true. Actually, we started in a different room.
But to any but the most dialed-in viewer,
that's very true. You're right. You're right.
Where we have been filming has remained largely unchanged over the course of that entire existence. But now, not only is our location changing, but we're in different places. How weird is that?
It's very strange.
That's crazy.
For those of you who do watch the channel, this is, I don't know which podcast this is. This is like podcast 16 or 20. I don't know. It's
somewhere in there.
It'll be in the title at some point.
Yeah.
We have been remiss in our podcasts just because things have gotten in the way, but we finally got the equipment we think we need. The point is that Alexander has moved away. And a lot of you know that, but he is oh, he's happy about it too. He has moved away. He's about 50 miles away from where he grew up, and so it's kind of difficult for us to get together to do some filming. So we thought we would try to do some virtual stuff, and this is our first attempt at that. And we have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea what the equipment is, how it works. We just started pushing buttons, and hopefully we found one that said record, and here we are.
It has taken us a good probably 6 or 7 hours, more than that. I would say closer to 8,
probably,
in the grand scheme of things. All the different attempts put together to figure out the technology of this and how it works. So
we are not the brightest bulbs.
I hope you appreciate it, because we've put in a lot of effort. I don't care if you appreciate it, but hopefully it works and it sounds good more than anything.
Yeah, it's something that we've had to spend a lot of time and effort on, and a lot of frustration has gone into it, but we think we finally got it sorted out. And this, hopefully, this is, like I said, this is our test. We're hoping that this will allow us to actually do some interviews with people, that we will be able to get people on the channel that we've wanted to get on the channel for a long time, and that we have told we would have on the channel in the past. And people have been patiently waiting, in some cases over a year, for us to fulfill that promise. We're hoping that this is going to do that. But
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
And for anybody who has watched the channel for a while, the pardon me, the circumstance where I've lived somewhere else, it's been the case for about a year now. So really the regularity of normal videos that you've become accustomed to, that's probably not going to change. And we're probably not going to use this format for standard video making.
Right.
But we're going to try and do the podcast more regularly, because I think we have a pretty decent way to do it. So that's probably what this will be used for.
And I think that this gives us, the podcasts, they are not as popular as the regular videos are, but
no.
At the same time, I think that it's a bit more free flow, and we get to talk about an awful lot more stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, I actually enjoy doing the podcasts quite a bit, because we're not trying to get things in a certain amount of time. And if we want to babble incessantly for an hour, we can do it, because that's kind of what
we're going to do.
That's what happens in a podcast. So
exactly.
And anybody who watches the channel who has watched the channel for any length of time knows that I like to kind of babble on about stuff. So
I do as well.
Oh, you do? Not as much as me. I don't know where you got it. You got it from your mother, I think.
Yeah, it's weird.
Anyway,
what?
Huh? But
Crazy.
Anyway, so let's just jump into our normal podcastedness.
Sure.
I've got a number of things that I want to talk about, because it's been such a long time since we've done this, that I think we kind of need to get people caught up in some of the things that we've been working on, some of the things that we have finished, but also some of the new interests that we have had. And
I know what you're gearing up for.
Oh, you know what what I'm heading for. But I've also got some things from Judges Guild. The last Judges Guild video we did for the main channel was really popular. People really seem to like that. I've got more Judges Guild stuff, and I came across one thing that I've got to share. I haven't even told you about it, but we have to go over it, because it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I thought we would start maybe with the Kickstarter.
Yes.
You know, we had a, for those of you who do not know, we had, oh yeah, this is your chance to use. This is gonna get on my nerves. You know that.
I'm filming this on a MacBook, and anybody who has an Apple product, try it for yourself. If you do like thumbs up and different things, the screen will respond in certain ways. How exciting! Look how fun that is.
He's gonna be doing this the entire video. So
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fireworks.
Be prepared, or it's gonna be raining or snowing or something. I know that's one of the other ones that you. Oh, here we go.
See if it works.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
yeah, that's sad. But we have to keep in mind also that this is a podcast, and that there are going to be people who are just going to be listening to this. We're going to have to give a visual description of everything that's going on.
Keep talking. I'm going off on tangents.
Okay. But the Kickstarter, yes, for those of you who do not know, we ran a Kickstarter from March to April-ish, February to March-ish, something like that. Anyway, it was called February to the end of March. It was called the Deck of Contradiction. It was our first foray into a Kickstarter. It was a success thanks to huge numbers of people who follow us. Here we go with the fireworks again. Oh, no, he didn't do it.
No, I was just dancing.
Okay. It was very successful thanks to a lot of the people who follow the YouTube channel.
Yeah, a lot of probably there's some overlap between the people who listen to the podcast and the people who contributed to that.
I think so. And so,
you guys.
And I guess that's the first thing, is just to thank everybody who has supported the Kickstarter. This is being filmed on May 31st. The Kickstarter fulfillment will not happen if you were a supporter of the Kickstarter. It won't be happening until July 2nd to the 5th. That was the last date that I got. But I'm giving updates, so you should have that information if it changes. But the Deck of Contradiction was a lot of fun for us to do. It took a component out of my campaign. Actually, a couple of components out of my campaign. It centered on the Wandering Elephant Expedition Company, which is an expedition retrieval dungeon exploration company. It combined it with something else in my campaign, which is Alebuck's Arcane Emporium, which is a really kind of a neat, magical, mystical emporium run by a guy named Landis Alebuck. We combined those two things together and came up with a deck of cards that is somewhat akin to the Deck of Many Things. But with this deck, rather than just kind of a random happening, oh, you got a good card, oh, you got a bad card, we thought it would be cool to combine those things together and make a deck that had both good things and bad things in each card. And really the result, the end result was how you as a character dealt with the card. But it was
more based around creating jumping off points for story
opportunities,
right? Than anything else. Yeah.
Right. But it was successful. We weren't sure it was going to be because this is our first one and we had no idea really what we were doing. But we were successfully funded to about 135%?
135, yep.
135%. So that was good. We learned an awful lot about it, and we are in the process of getting ready to release our second Kickstarter sometime in the next 2 months. This one is going to be called, it's another deck of cards, but it's not a deck of cards that you are going to interact with as an artifact. It's called Expedition to the Forest of Moon, and the Forest of Moon is another location in my campaign, has been for a long time. And in this deck of cards, what it's going to actually be, how should I describe it? A location? Is that a good way to say it? Or it
populates a location.
Well, and the deck of cards is made up of 20 creatures that you would encounter in the Forest of Moon. But there's a big background story to it. There are some incredible pieces of artwork that my youngest son, Zachary, has been creating for it. We will be releasing some of those as time goes by. Alexander and I have been working on the actual storyline of the Wandering Elephant Expedition Company having to go to the Forest of Moon, and just the adventure that they have going to try and find an item for someone who's hired them. They're going to the Forest of Moon to obtain this artifact for this individual and bring it back. And the deck of cards it gives all of the components of that story in a deck of cards, as well as a PDF that will have more in-depth information on it. But anyway, we're looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people, and we'll have more information for you about that as time goes by.
Yeah, I mean, we'll obviously this is just kind of a first foray into kind of letting people know that it will be happening. I mean, we won't be releasing anything probably until after fulfillment is done for
Right.
the
Oh, exactly.
competition.
Yeah, that's our focus. Finishing that is the big
Yeah,
focus right now.
yeah, but with some of the stuff that we have so far, and it's not all the way written, and not everything's not fleshed out to the degree that I think it will be.
Right.
But I think that in a lot of ways, I like this one more. I think it's more creative. There's more stuff that players and DMs would be able to use it for,
right?
If they want to integrate it into their campaign. I think there's a lot more. I mean, the deck of contradiction, I liked it. I thought it was great.
I think it's great.
You guys end up thinking. I mean, I hope that you like it too. But I think that this it's more fun in a lot of ways, and I'm having a lot more. I'm having more fun putting it together because it's very creative.
Right. Well, and I think that I'm kind of along the same way with this. I think it's because it's more expansive. The deck of contradiction had a limited scope. It had a limited backstory that we could put with it. Although I love the backstory that was attached to it. And if you haven't downloaded all of the PDFs, if you supported the Kickstarter and you haven't downloaded all of the PDFs, that's where the meat of that deck of contradiction is in the PDFs that accompany it. Loads of information in there. But this one, I agree. This one is something that is it's going to be really exciting to me for people to be able to read through this and integrate it into their campaign directly as a location to adventure in.
Yeah. It's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, keep your ears to the ground on that one, folks.
Yeah, we'll be providing more information.
Yeah. But again, to all the people who donated to the Kickstarter, thank you all so much. Your orders will be coming in soon if you order the physical copies. You're the best. It was very cool to be able to do that. It was a pretty big deal for us to be able to create our own gaming supplement / board game thing that we got to make for people. So it's very exciting, and thank you all so much.
Well, and a big part, the thing is, we made a lot of money to help support the channel, so that's a major thing. A couple of people I just want to shout out to. One of them is Retro DM Ray. Retro DM Ray runs his own channel. We'll try and get information about Retro DM Ray's channel. We'll put it in the description of the video. And Retro DM Ray gave us a review of it very early on, before we even had released it. Drove a lot of people our way, which was really a cool thing for him to do for us. He's an old friend of ours. He does some really cool stuff on old school Dungeons and Dragons. If you get the chance, go take a look at his channel. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Old Head Allen went out and he was posting our stuff everywhere, trying to let people know that we had this deck of contradiction project that we were running. We didn't ask him to. He just went out and did it. And I think he made a huge difference in getting the word out to people about the deck of contradiction. So thanks to Old Head Allen. Another person, Robbie Lava, who has his own game that he released on Kickstarter a while back. It's called Enclave. We'll be doing an interview with Robbie, and we'll be talking about Enclave later on. Not in this video, but later on. We might talk a little bit about Enclave, the game, in this video / podcast. Robbie was a big help in terms of saying if you head down that road, you're going to fall into a pit. It was good to talk to him before we even started the campaign, because he'd been down that road before. Robbie's a great guy. But yeah, those are the people that I really wanted to shout out to. One thing, kind of a segue here, we also have decided to create an Old Warlock newsletter.
Yes.
What we're going to be doing in that is probably maybe releasing it quarterly, or as often as we think we should be releasing it. But it'll have some more thoughts about things that we found that we think you might enjoy. It will talk about, Kickstarter projects or whatever. We might have some interviews with people that we put into it. It's not going to be overly long, but if you would like to be included in the newsletter list, the email list, this is going to come out as a PDF. That's the way we decided to do it. If you'd like to receive that PDF newsletter, the Old Warlock newsletter, just send us an email. Drop us an email at officialoldwarlock@gmail.com, and we will put you on the list, and you can start receiving them as soon as we start making them. We should have one. I'm hoping we'll have one out sometime in the next 6 weeks, maybe even sooner than that. But I think they'll enjoy it. It's going to be investigating the same kinds of things that we investigate on the YouTube channel. But I think that a text format and a photo format will give us a little more leeway to do some things. So we're going to give that a go. So keep your eye out for that, and let us know if you'd like to be included on the email newsletter list.
or anything that you there's no guarantee that any suggestions you have would end up being included in a newsletter, but let us know if there's anything that you would like us to write about or you would like to see included in a newsletter. And it might be something that we end up adding in. So suggestions, please, the more the better.
Well, and we've even kicked the idea around. I don't know if we're going to go this route or not. We've even kicked the idea around of including some submissions from people who watch the channel. If we have a subject that we talk about and somebody says, hey, I've got one of those, or I used that in this, we might end up putting, an image of something that you used, something that you created using something we've talked about, that kind of thing. Yeah. We're not sure if that's going to happen, but we're going to see what happens. It's a new
one way to find out.
That's right. It's a new experiment.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to, now that we've got all that stuff out of the way.
All that boring stuff.
Yeah, well, except for the thank yous to the people who help us out.
That's not boring.
No, it's not. There are a lot of people who help us out. We wouldn't be where we are if we hadn't had a bunch of just great people who were saying, no, don't do that. Or, yeah, you need to do this. So, yeah. I've got a new monkey on my back.
What monkey is that?
Well,
I know.
You know what it is. Mm-hmm. I have taken up a game recently called Saga. For a long time, I have wanted to do tabletop wargaming. I've wanted to do tabletop wargaming since I was in grade school. And I've never had.
What exactly is tabletop wargaming?
Okay, well, Alexandra, it's good that you asked.
Yeah.
Tabletop wargaming is where you get, in my case, 28 millimeter figures, and little tiny guys, and think tabletop wargaming. Think Warhammer.
Okay. I'm with you.
I do have an army for Warhammer 40K. I've also got one for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. But somebody turned me on to a game called Saga, which is historic figures. So you make armies of Vikings, and you make armies of Anglo-Saxons, and you make armies of Anglo-Danes, and Norse Gaels, and Normans. And
it's a stupid game.
It is such a dumb game. God, I
have
not hate
had
it.
any fun playing that.
No, you did not enjoy it the time that we played it. No. But you basically you set up on a table. You have some objectives. You have groups of so you have a unit of archers. You have a unit of what's called Hearthguard, which are like the more trained warriors. You have a unit of regular warriors. You have your leader, and you might have crossbowmen, you might have guys with slings, and you just go at it. And in Saga, you roll dice, and then each one of the different different peoples that you are playing, they have different abilities. And so there are dice involved, and you get to make use of these different abilities that are peculiar to the Norse or the Vikings or to the Saxons or whoever. And then you battle it out and see who ends up winning.
But it's a very simple game.
It is.
I was surprised.
Yeah, it is simple.
We've only had the opportunity together to play it once so far. We played one battle. Between who was it between? The Danes and the Anglo-Saxons?
No, it was the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings.
Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings. Yeah. So, but it was. I went into it with kind of this Warhammer-ish expectation of a lot of rules, very complicated. It's tough to kind of get into initially. We did one turn each,
and we knew how to play.
And off to the races. It was so quick and easy to pick up, but a lot of fun.
It really was, and there's a lot of, and this is when I say that this is a historical. Tabletop wargaming. Okay, it's not. It's historic adjacent. You get to play guys. Play with these little figures that look like they're Vikings or look like they're Anglo-Saxon knights.
What does Zachary call them?
He calls them my dolls.
Yeah,
he calls them my dolls. Playing with your dolls again, Dad? It's like, oh, yes, I am playing with my dolls again.
They're pretty cool dolls, though, guys.
They're awesome dolls. They are awesome dolls. And so this is my new addiction. Is playing Saga. There's another game called Lion Rampant, which is very similar. But
is that the one you were? Oh no. Sorry, continue.
No, that's another one that's very similar to it. I want to try and get to grips with those rules as well because they apply in different ways. So anyway, just so everybody out there knows, you're going to be seeing some videos about the game Saga. You're going to be seeing some videos about the game Lion Rampant. We're going to have some unboxing videos of the Mountain of Grey Shame that I'm continuing to increase because I'm getting, sets of Norman or, Saracen soldiers in the mail on a regular basis. And so we're going to do some unboxing of those just to show you that my dolls are cool. So
we might even do a little playing of some of those games.
Oh, we should.
Here at some point.
We could do that. Yeah.
Well, it's a game that, because we only had, how many pieces each did we have? Maybe 20?
Maybe 20, yeah.
20, 25 soldiers a piece when we played, but I can see how I never really understood kind of the miniature wargaming thing.
No, I agree. I'm with you. Yeah.
But I can see how it's just that slow slide down into, well, right. I should probably have an army of at least 50, right? I should have 50 guys that I can send out there. Then you get to that point, like, well, maybe 100. That seems like a good kind of round, historically accurate small skirmish, right? Then have about 100 soldiers, and then it just goes on from there. But oh my God, if you got 5 or 6 people playing that game at the same time,
that's
each
the
with
thing.
An army of 50.
That's what I really want to do. And I, how I am. I'm already adapting the rules. Not that the rules are bad. They're just what they are, and they're really a lot of fun. It's Saga is put out by a French company called Studio Tomahawk. And all they do is make the rules. They don't make the miniature figures. You have to buy the miniature figures from all these different companies, most of them centered in the UK, because it's like the home of tabletop wargaming, the UK. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've already decided, I've got that 3D printed city wall and gate. Somebody's going to have to be sallying out of that gate to destroy the trebuchet that I'm 3D printing right now.
You are printing one right now?
Well, I've got the file for that. It's in line after the swamp that I'm printing off right now, because you put down hills and all kinds of different terrain. You can put down hills, rivers. I've got a river that I've printed off, and a bridge. And
they all play a role in the game, like in the rules.
They do.
They impact how you can move and fight and stuff like that.
Right, and they're forests, all kinds of stuff. And so I'm really just. I'm in over my head, I think, but it's fun stuff. This is going to be good.
It really is cool.
So if you get the chance, look up the game Saga on YouTube. There are some guys who play it. There's one YouTube channel called Seventh Son, and there's another one called, I want to say it's Raj Rules, and he plays Saga against his buddies. And so if you want to watch a game, check those two places out, because it is a lot of fun. It's a real fun game. If you're into history, if you like miniatures, and the thing is, you could play this game with poker chips if you wanted to, but I like to paint the miniature figures. If you want to, if that's the kind of thing that you like to do, Saga is a game for you to investigate.
Yeah, and I think that if you want to, granted, I've only played it once. I'm not an expert in any of this yet.
Neither am I. Neither am I.
Yeah, and if you want to take that first kind of step, that foray into that whole world, and Warhammer is intimidating, justifiably so,
right,
then I think that this is probably the best way to go about maybe trying it out.
Well, I agree, and one of the things that has really brought me into this game is that it's so cheap compared to playing Warhammer. I picked up a set of 36 figures that were, you could make slingers, you could make archers, you could make just generally distance weapon equipped figures. 36 of them. It cost me $33 for 36 figures. At the same time, for one of my leaders for my Necrons in Warhammer 40K, that was $40 for just one figure.
Yeah.
I like cheap games, and this one, really, to get into it, is much cheaper than jumping into Warhammer. Not that Warhammer's a bad game. It's not. It's just that I like cheap.
Yeah, this is not us, hating on Warhammer by any means. I've never even played it.
I run Necrons, okay? So, I do the Warhammer thing. But this Saga game is really cool. Anyway.
It is.
Anyway.
No, I think that's exciting. It was funny. I saw it was from a while back, but I saw a clip of Henry Cavill, the guy who plays Superman.
He's a Warhammer guy.
He was on. It was like the Graham Norton show, I think, that British talk show, and he was just going on a rant about how much he loves Warhammer.
Oh yeah,
he's a great representative, I think.
He is
for nerd culture.
Yeah,
good guy.
Yeah, he. I think I saw that same interview where he was talking about, it's, and all the other guests were kind of looking at him like, what? He's like, no, you don't understand. Painting these things is a Zen experience, and that is exactly what it is. Painting these little minis for your games, it's a Zen experience. There's no downside except for the cost, I guess. But
hey, what are you gonna do? All these hobbies are expensive.
Exactly. Moving on. How long have we been doing this? What's our time here? I wonder if I can check on this. 25 minutes. 25 minutes.
Yeah, I was gonna say about a half hour.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Gaming convention next, or do we want to talk? I think we should go to the gaming convention.
Yeah, let's go kind of chronologically here.
All right. Go ahead.
Cheyenne Gaming Convention. We went to it again. This is our third year in a row. Being participants at the Cheyenne Gaming Convention. I think this was the best one yet.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
And not only do I think, Brad, I'm not just trying to make you feel good when I say this. Not only do I think that it's the best one of the Cheyenne Gaming Conventions, I think it's outpacing the Colorado ones, some of those other ones that we've been to, pretty heavily, pretty far and away. Yeah, I went for 2 days this time. You went for 3.
Right.
Lot of fun. We did a lot of cool stuff. I mean,
we did. And one of the cool things we had, I don't know how many people we had who were either supporters of the channel or Patreon supporters who showed up at this convention, which was really cool. We got to play games with a couple of them. But just
number,
and just some of them, we just got to hang around and talk, and I really enjoy that because after you get to know some of these people, you've run a channel for 5 years, you get to know some of these people, and it's kind of like friends that you only see, those friends that you spent a summer working, out on a forestry project with 10 years ago, and you only get to see them once in a blue moon. It's kind of the same thing, you see them.
It's our weird little community that we've built here.
But we end up getting to see some of these people face to face and have conversations. You put a face to a name is what's happening. But to me, that's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing that. Oh, here we go. No, you got to do the other one. Oh, that's what you wanted. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. We're just keeping it calm right now.
Okay. All right. But that was a good part.
It was very cool. Because we got to play pretty much every game. Almost all of the games that we played, or all the sessions we had some people who either watched the channel or were Patreon patrons or something in those, and that was really neat to be able to do. It was cool to get to talk to you guys. And to anybody listening right now who hasn't encountered us at a convention or out and about, we have a book that if you recognize us at the conventions, we have you autograph it for us, because it really inflates our egos. It's a really big deal for us to be able to have that happen.
I think we've got like 6 autographs in there right now, but to us that's huge. But it is to us. It's a big thing. But we're very serious about getting people's autograph, because sometimes it's tough to show people that we really appreciate the support that you've given us over the past however many years.
5.5.
5.5 years. And so, we appreciate you being with us this entire time. And so we, this is just a little record for us of people that we have either recognized us out in the world or whatever, but it's important to us to have you sign our autograph book. So if you're into that kind of thing, if you're into autographs, we need yours.
Yeah. But no, a lot of we did a lot of cool sessions while we were there. Started off with, what did we start with? What was the first thing we did on the first night? Was it PitchCar? It was PitchCar.
Well, I played a great game with Gene called Dinogenics. This is before you got there Friday. Dinogenics, which it was brought in by our buddy Junior. Junior has the best taste in board games of any person I have ever known in my life. And I mean, he's not really a friend of ours outside of, gaming conventions or what. I see him every now and then, but every time I go to a gaming convention, it's like, oh, Junior, how you doing? He's like, hey, I've got this great game here. And I mean, one was Foundations of Rome that we played last year. God, I want that game. but I can't justify buying it because it's so expensive right now. But he introduced me to that game, Foundations of Rome, which is wonderful. The one that we played this time was Dinogenics, which is basically Jurassic Park. And it was a kick. Gene and I, you end up raising dinosaurs in a theme park. And it's Jurassic Park. You've got, dinosaurs that have been brought back from DNA that was trapped in amber or whatever else. And basically you have to build hotels and run a successful dino park. But if you're not careful, if you don't keep them fed in the right way, if you get them upset, they will go on a rampage and kill some of the visitors, and you lose points. And it was a fun game. I highly recommend Dinogenics if you get the chance to play it.
Yeah, it sounded very cool from what you guys told me afterwards.
It was fun.
I'd like to get to play it if I get the chance.
That was a fun game.
But then that evening, what did we play? What was it called?
We're gonna do a separate video on PitchCar. We are going to do it separate. I am addicted to that game too. It's the Mountain of Grey Shame, for me first. PitchCar is right up there as well.
Oh my goodness.
That is such a fun game.
For anybody who hasn't played it, I don't think it's a super common game. I've never heard of it outside of... No, it's not super common, or it is?
No, it is not. I did some research into it because I just wanted to know more about it. I want to say that it's a French game as well, or maybe it's German. I can't remember, but it actually came out a long time ago. It's like a 15-year-old game that, and essentially PitchCar, all it is you have a track you put together. It's kind of like puzzle pieces. You put them all together, and then your car for this PitchCar race game is just a little wooden disc, and you flick it like you would, kind of a bink, kind of like that. You flick the thing down the track, but this track goes all over the place. It has jumps, it has loops, it has tunnels, it has all kinds of stuff. And the guy who runs PitchCar at these gaming conventions, Travis.
Yeah,
Travis is his name. I hope it's Travis. I'm 99.9% sure it's Travis, but you know how my brain gives out on me.
Yeah, Travis, or whatever your name is. If we're wrong, we apologize.
We apologize because we think you're great.
Yeah, you're fantastic at what you do.
And I think that he is half of that game because he's funny. He doesn't play himself. He just runs it. But the way he runs it,
we'll get back to that.
Well, yeah, in a minute.
Yeah.
But the main game that we played, the one that was actually on the schedule, he's a hoot to have there because of he's got this funny, slightly sarcastic but not in a mean way attitude. But it's not mean. It's just
no.
It's a great attitude to have. He's a showman, is what he is.
It's very game show host.
He really is.
Yeah.
But Travis, I love the way you run this game. I love the game. Thank you for introducing it to me. And I have a surprise for you the next time that I see you. I think that they're going to be at BCon down in Denver here pretty soon.
Who are you talking to? Are you saying you as in Travis or you as in me?
Not for you, Alexander. Something for Travis. If Travis happened to be listening to this, although you'll enjoy it as well. I have found some 3D print files for PitchCar that I'm going to print off and give to you because there is some cool stuff that people have made for 3D printing that fit into a PitchCar track. So I'm going to make some of those and bring them to you the next time I see you. But sorry, I you know how I am with PitchCar. Go ahead.
It's such a fun game. I mean, picture slot car track.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
It's about the same size. It's a little bit wider, and again, you just flick this little disc along around this track however many laps you're supposed to. And I know that when we're talking about it on this, it does not sound that
fun or exciting.
How could that be fun? But I mean, the first night we played, we had 10 people all racing around this thing at the same time. And so you go up to the table and you flick your thing and then you step back out and then everybody just takes turns going around. But oh my God, once you get into it, probably half an hour in, and after everyone's gone over the first jump across the track, it's electric. There is nothing like it.
It really is. And I never win this thing. I never come close to winning it, but I am still addicted to it. But at about, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through that first race, we're out there. People are yelling and screaming and, cheering and what, but it was all in good fun. I mean, nobody was, being a problem with it.
Just kind of hyped up. Let's go.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. And some of the time, you'll have to take 20 runs at trying to make it over a jump without going off the track. God. And then once somebody finally makes it on their 21st jump, everybody's like, yeah,
it's a mental game.
It's so
in a lot of ways.
So much.
The first 2 or 3 times you miss that jump or that big like loop to loop that you're going over.
Oh yeah.
It really starts to weigh on you, especially after people start to go past. And like if you're in front, you just can't make it. Man, it is a stressful experience.
It is.
I think it's the perfect gaming convention game.
I think it is too.
Because it's all skill. There's no luck involved.
Right.
It's a ton of people. Everyone kind of just lets go and has a good time. It's so much fun.
It really is. If you get the chance to play PitchCar, and if it's run by Travis, especially, you need to take a part in that game because it is just a hoot. But then we played a second time, starting at like 11 o'clock at night.
What did Brad call it? The super secret PitchCar trophy?
Something like that. And he went and made a special trophy for that late night off the schedule game the schedule that we threw together. That Travis threw together, and bless him, he was exhausted from running games all day, and he still had helped us run a game until it was like 1:30 in the morning or 2 o'clock when we finished.
2 in the morning, and I mean that game was even bigger. There were like 18 people.
There's a huge number.
20
of
people playing that one. And I mean, he made the track was bigger. It was more complicated. There were more jumps. I mean, you had to go under stuff and then around, and then there were like 3 jumps up. You had to go up the course.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh.
Well, and the thing is, I actually fell asleep partway through that. Did you notice? I kept going over and sitting down at one of the tables. My back started to hurt me. I was like, oh, geez, but I couldn't leave because it's PitchCar, But I went over at one point and I suddenly realized, oh man, I fell asleep there. And I think that one of our Patreon subscribers, who was there for a lot of it, we had a really great conversation. I think that I fell asleep and he was standing there, but I'm not exactly sure. But I mean, it was just for a split second. But I mean, I felt like a zombie when I got done with the thing, but there was no way that I was going to leave that game.
Oh no.
Because it had to be done.
And we were locked in on that one because everyone wanted that dinky little trophy that Brad taped over the front of and wrote Super Secret PitchCar Trophy. Well, whoever won, you got to take that home. And
that was it. Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, Brad and I had a competition going. He had a competition going with Travis. We had all these. Brad was just like, let's make this a little more interesting. And so we started having bets. I was paying people bounties to knock Brad's PitchCar off the track. So if it was like a Death Race 2000 thing where if you used your PitchCar to knock off Brad's, I'd give you $1. I mean,
You're paying people off in the background.
It just went up and up and up from there. But it was a lot of fun. It was a real kick.
But yeah, I know that Travis takes that to. He was saying he takes it all over kind of the Rocky Mountain West region. To most of the conventions, primarily in Colorado and Denver.
Yeah, because I think he lives in Denver, but I'm not positive about that.
I think so. I don't know, but yeah, in Denver and some of the other towns. So if you're going to like Genghis Khan or something like that, there's probably a pretty good chance that he'll be there. Yeah. So at least check the schedule.
And also, just so people know, Tacticon will be coming up in Denver on August 22nd through the 25th. I don't know if we're going to be going to that. I might pop down there for like a day. It depends on what kind of things are available. I mean, if you're available, that I hope you can come with me. But if you can't,
at least for a day, probably. Right. I mean, I might.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. We always say after the gaming convention, it's like, I don't need to do the next one. We're all gamed out. There's no need. And then as soon as it comes on the schedule, it's
look, what do we got here?
What are they doing? Is Virgilio doing something? I mean, what's going on down there? Yeah.
Well, and I think he's doing it one that's coming up. Virgilio's running something at a game that's coming up for us. Virgilio runs these other really cool games. We've discussed those on other videos.
Go back about 2 years and watch some of the gaming convention
Watch some of our gaming convention videos, and you'll see information about those. One of the other things that I really enjoyed, though, was the Hazard Quest. game, the Walking Dead game that we
Yes.
took part in.
Yes.
That was really well done. And there's a guy by the name of Drew, and he and another individual, they run a role-playing game. I don't want to say company, but an organization maybe might be a better term, called Hazard Quest. And this is our first chance to actually play in something that Hazard Quest had put together. And Drew put together something involving The Walking Dead. And that was really good. It was exceptionally well done. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about that was that Drew seems to have a really good understanding of the amount of time that you have in a gaming convention to run a role-playing game scenario and get through it and have fun along the way without getting bogged down in trying to follow exactly what the rules might be saying. Plus, he 3D prints these incredible scenes. And, he had basically, it was like a diorama on the table, and we got there.
It was incredible.
It was so cool. But then his description, the way he presents is just amazing. If you ever have a chance to join in something at a gaming convention, and I know that he does this not just in Cheyenne's gaming convention, but in a number of them in Colorado, look for Hazard Quest. And if you get the chance to do something on the schedule that is put on by Hazard Quest, make sure that you do it, because at least the only person we've been with is Drew. It was amazing. And he had it so well timed and so well laid out as he moved from one scene to another. It was one of the best RPGs I've ever played in a gaming convention. It was amazing.
It was very cool. And I mean, for any of you who have been to a gaming convention, you know that the role-playing experience at them is very different than probably what you're doing with your private games. Just because it is really compressed into a slot of time. And we even had 4 hours. That was a 4-hour long session. Yeah. But I mean, it went by so quickly, and it's hard to kind of develop a character and really get too into what's going on. But he did a great job of kind of roping us in straight out of the gate and having a compressed story that we could follow. But I mean, the whole Hazard Quest group, they really focus on having these extremely detailed, really are dioramas.
Very immersive experiences with the RPGs.
Yeah. I mean, they have lights. They have like smoke machines that they bring.
Did
out
they
for
really?
Some of this. I think so. I think they had one over on the main stage.
The other one, yeah.
Stuff on.
Well, I didn't see that. That's why. That's something.
I could be mistaken on that. That might be something I've inserted, but
maybe somebody's just having a ciggy over there. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it kind of smelled like it in there.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
But we're not people who really use figurines that much. I mean, I know we just talked about wargaming miniatures, but when we play D&D and when we play other role-playing games, we don't do the map on the table with the miniatures. But when it's done to this degree with this much effort to this level of quality, like it's a pretty neat experience. It's really cool.
I will definitely be, if I can sign up for something else with Hazard Quest, which I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. If I get to do it again. Quick. Yeah, they seem to, and I understand why. I really do understand why.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. That was very, very cool.
Mm-hmm. But overall, again, just a really good gaming convention put on by Brad, the Cheyenne Gaming Convention. If you get the chance, go to it next year. Sign up for it next year. Oh, here he goes. There we go.
There it is. Go, Brad.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Anything else on that before we move on? We are at 43 minutes right now.
No, great job, everyone. Great gaming convention. We will be back next year.
Yes, we most certainly will. Okay, then I think we can wrap this up with Memento.
Drum roll, please.
We are going to take a look at something that I found in my collection of stuff. And of course, it's going to be backwards because that's the way these things are. Is that backwards to you?
Nope.
Oh, it's backwards to me because I'm looking at my... physics just baffle me.
What's going on here? Walter Brennan, when did you come on the podcast?
Oh, Walter Brennan's coming on the podcast. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who are expecting us to do our thank you video for the Deck of Contradiction, it is going to be filmed this Sunday. We've had problems with me being sick, and so we're going to film I know. We're going to be filming the thank you video this Sunday, where we will acknowledge those who had the higher tiers, where they just wanted to be acknowledged publicly on a video. And then there are those of you that we did not expect to actually... we put in one tier in the Kickstarter where we would be thanking you in the voice of Dewey Duck from DuckTales, or from the voice of Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah, guess who's doing Kronk? Yeah. We didn't think anybody would actually pay to have us do that, but you did, and so we're going
almost to the same level as the main one.
It's fun. I mean, we appreciate you guys doing it, but we were not expecting it, so it's going to be fun for us to do the video. But that will be done this Sunday, so don't fear. We will be getting to it. It's just that things keep happening that have kept us from being able to do it. But anyway, let's take a quick look at Under the Storm Giant's Castle from Judges Guild.
We mentioned that one in the video, didn't we?
I think we might have. But this is number 93, publication number 93 from Judges Guild. And there are just some things I've got to read out of this that are so much fun. This cost $3 originally at Walt's Hobby Shop. But this is one of the things that I got from Brad that he managed to pick up for like $1 at the local library. Now, this came out in 1979, and it is Under the Storm Giant's Castle is a module that you can take your characters on, or you can run 4 characters and you can take your character into it. But I've got to read this to you. There are a couple things here. The beginning description, compared to a lot of modules that came out back around 1978, 79, 80, 81, this is something different. So I'm going to read this opening. I'm going to read you the setting. So this is Under the Storm Giant's Castle by Thomas A. McLeod. Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a storm giant named Nimbus who lived with his wife Cerulean and their baby Squall in a marvelous castle on an island of magic clouds. They were all happy until one dreadful day something terrible happened. Nimbus was feeding a flock of sheep to his rock, and Cerulean had just put small Squall down for his nap. Suddenly there was a terrible grinding noise, and the baby giant cried out in fear. Rushing back to the nursery, Cerulean was just in time to see a horrible worm-like monster drag her baby down through a hole in the floor. "Nimbus, help!" she screamed. Quick as lightning, Nimbus came thundering in. "What's the matter?" "A horrible worm stole our baby, and he went down that hole, and the hole is too small for us." "So it is," said Nimbus, "and if we make it any bigger, our castle's foundation stone," which was white quartz, and magical of course, "will crack, and we will crash to the ground." He put his arm in the hole and felt around. "It's too deep. I can't touch the bottom." Cerulean started to cry. "Don't cry, my dear," said Nimbus. "We have many friends who can help, and maybe some of those teensy humans and elves and things can be hired to bring back our baby. They like gems, you know." That's it. That's the lead-in to this entire thing. And on one hand, it makes me laugh, but on the other hand, it's like, okay, cool. Let's get started with this.
Absolutely. You have literally all of the information you need is
it's there. Right there. You don't need anything else.
Nope.
It continues. I'll just continue this little bit here. "So there you are, my dear bold adventurers. The giants will pick you up from any convenient mountaintop, or you may fly to their castle. They will lower you by rope to the first chamber in the cloud. Your mission is to find the lost baby if you can and bring him safely home. While you are looking, destroy any evil monsters you meet. You may keep any treasure you find. If you do succeed in bringing Squall back to his mommy and daddy, they will reward the party with gems worth 10,000 gold pieces and come to your call 3 times. That's the kicker right there. Having storm giants come to your call 3 times, I'd do anything for that.
Just your goal is to find the baby is too funny.
Oh yeah, well it gets better. I gotta tell you. They are both 15 hit die storm giants with 120 hit points each. As this is a tremendous reward in addition to any treasure you find, expect a tough dungeon. Okay, so here is. I could probably just... I'm sorry for those of you who are on the podcast who cannot see this.
Yeah, just picture it.
So that's the dungeon, okay?
That's a Mario level.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's great. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think this is so cool.
It's awesome.
Now, let me just quickly there are lots of images.
Nice. And that very old role-playing game, OSR kind
This
of
is 1979 art style, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And you know, and I'm laughing about it, but it's not because I'm making fun of it. It's just this is simple, straightforward. You got a character, go in and go. You know, this is dungeon crawling set up at its best.
I mean, yeah, with a lot of supplements you get now, 5th edition or otherwise, a lot of even the old school stuff, you know, you're getting books.
Right.
Not like books. You're getting books.
Right.
For one setting, one scenario. So this is awesome.
Now there is... Okay, I love this. The stuff of the cloud is strong enough to support a party of adventurers, even those with plate and shield. But some sections of floor look fine, but are nothing but cloud. They look fine, but they are nothing but cloud-like mist. Those not heavily weighted, armor classes 10 through 6, with a normal pace, simply fall to the next level and land on nice soft cloud. Those heavier, armor class 5 and more, fall to the next level and sink 7 to 12 feet into the cloud. And if a 12 is rolled, they crash through another level and the roll is repeated. Those heavier yet just keep on going. So,
that's funny.
I think it's great. I'm wearing my plate mail through.
Yep.
And it's almost like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. You know, I can see
yeah.
this end up being something like that. The stuff of the cloud may be easily cut with anything sharp. But then here's the thing: wandering monsters. The usual wandering monster tables are not appropriate in the magic cloud under the Storm Giant's castle, so the following table is offered. Most of the monsters listed are taken from TSR's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual. Let's read through them.
Let's.
You can. It's a 2d6 to see if you get one of these wandering monsters, or see which wandering monster you get. 1 to 5 eagles. That's number 2. Or you can end up getting 1 to 3 windwalkers, 2 to 8 hippogriffs, 2 to 8 aerial manta rays. Then there are 5 to 30 balloon people, and this one I got to look up.
Yeah, what's a balloon person?
I don't know. You can also come across an invisible stalker. You can come across a djinn, a coatl, a keyrin, or an aerial servant. So it's, they're not playing around here.
No, those are all pretty nasty fellows if you come across them.
And then then you go to, dungeon level 1, room 11, 6 balloon people, each armed with bags of 12 hailstones. So I've got to assume that they're tied into weather somehow.
Well, because the balloon people, that's not in the monster manual.
No,
it's not
not that I can remember.
It's like, unless I'm really forgetting something, I don't think it is.
But let me see what they've got here. Anyway, it has 6 levels.
Wow.
But one of the... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, one of the interesting things to me, 1979, one of the things you can come across is a demonic worm who is actually Satan in disguise. Yes, Satan. It's got demonic worm and Satan in parentheses right after it. Exactly. So this maybe this was one of the prime movers and shakers for the whole satanic panic.
Getting into the panic.
This giant snake-like monster is actually Satan in one of the evil one's many disguises. It is a form taken for seducing and corrupting dragons and other intelligent giant reptiles.
Oh, that's wild,
isn't it? Though.
Well, because I know that like a lot of the devils, and I think some of the demons that are in
they're taken out.
Originally written, they're taken out of. Well, they're from that original
right.
They're taken from Christianity, but at least to some degree.
Right.
That's a lot more
direct and to the point.
Direct and to the point.
It's not like Beelzebub. It's like, no, this is Satan.
This is Satan.
Wow.
Here's
the balloon people. They are uncommon, number appearing 5 to 30, armor class 7. special defenses. They are unhurt by weather or blunt weapons. Balloon people look like people made out of balloons. They sound like hissing air and they eat wind. They are found inside magic clouds and almost nowhere else. They are hurt only by sharp weapons or fire but are susceptible to magic. Their hide is tough, but when ordinary balloon people are hit, they pop. Hence the a single hit point. But if you get, I'd love to throw 5 to 30 of them against somebody.
Oh yeah. That is absolutely too funny. I mean, it was a stupid question when I didn't know what they were. They're exactly what they sound like.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have thought it. Yeah.
No.
Naturally, they hate sharp weapons and instantly attack those who carry them, screaming, "Pins, pins, kill the pins." Anyway, I'm not going to go through the entire thing. I just thought that this was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
There's I haven't read the thing as closely as I would like to, but I may end up integrating this into my campaign because I just think it's awesome.
No, that really is cool.
But one of the other cool things about this, and I will show this again. Sorry for those of you actually listening to the podcast. I'm showing the back of the Judges Guild booklet I'm talking about here. You can see there.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Let's do that.
Yeah, there I can see it all. Is that just the whole list of all the publications that they have?
This is a list of all 93 of their publications as of 1979, which is pretty darned extensive.
Yeah.
But what I love about so many of these, it's like, some of these are like $3, some are $1.50, some are 50 cents. It's just, it helps you to, seeing things like this from that time, it helps you to really understand some of the cool stuff that was readily available, not just, you might be lucky to find it. There was tons of this stuff out there and it was cheap. And we've heard from a number of people talking about their love of Judges Guild products.
Quite a few
of them have said things about how much they enjoy it. In fact, how many people still use Judges Guild maps and things from back in the day. And you can see why so many people might still be talking about it, because it was so readily available back when some of these people got their start in Dungeons and Dragons or role-playing games.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that moving forward, we'll probably talk about. Do you have a couple more Judges Guild things?
I do. But I've got to track them down. I mean, they're in one of my wrapped up plastic protect from the next apocalypse storage boxes. So I'm going to have to go in and break the seals and see exactly what I've got available.
No, because I mean, I think we're probably going to try and make, maybe not super soon, but maybe try and make a couple more videos talking about some of the Judges Guild stuff, because you guys seem to like that a lot. And they really are cool.
To me, they're some of the coolest early Dungeons and Dragons things out there. And I'd also, there's some other fanzines that we need to get back to talking about as well. Some of the really early ones from like 1975. We're going to get back into those. I think sometimes it's easier to talk about those on the podcast than it is to talk about those in video. So
yeah, because it's kind of tough to get a whole video, but no, I agree. But no, that's really cool. Again, I dig the balloon people. I think those, if nothing else, you should take those and drop them in. So drop them in somewhere. You know what I think of that?
Oh, jeez. I knew you were waiting. I knew you were waiting for something.
Fireworks.
But that's all I've got. Do you have anything else?
No, I mean, I think that kind of brings us up to the end of everything here. On the podcast, I'm going to start a new segment at the very end that's just called "Here's a movie that Alexander has watched recently," and I'm going to say it.
Do it.
I'm going to talk about it.
Do it.
I don't know why. I watched The Revenant recently.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have.
That is a darn good movie.
It is good. It's a good.
In terms of Alexander's thumbs up scale, it gets 5 thumbs up out of 5.
Really?
Yeah,
you liked it
I
that
quite
much?
Liked it. I enjoyed it.
I mean, the story itself.
Tom Hardy plays the same character in everything that he's in ever. Yeah. But did a great job. What were you going to say though?
No, the story behind The Revenant is really something. Because you're talking about this is the Western, right?
Yeah, it's about Hugh Glass.
Yeah. The story of Hugh Glass is just amazing. And I always tried to imagine myself, sitting in some trading post someplace and having, Hugh Glass come through the door and just what the talk about your RPG adventure. That would be really something to integrate in.
Well, I mean, I got to be honest. As I was sitting there watching it, I kept thinking about the Wild West RPGs that we've done before.
Yeah.
Just got me thinking, oh, this is like the little fort that they're hanging out in.
Oh yeah,
just a great. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you for listening to our latest segment. I just watch a lot of movies and I want to talk about them. So watch The Revenant, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy.
There you
and
go.
That guy with the eyebrows from The Maze Runner. I don't know what his name is.
I don't either. I know who you're talking about, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
well, guys, thanks for joining us here on this newfangled podcast thing that we're doing, hoping to see if it works. But yeah, if you have nothing else, I've got nothing else here on this end that we have to say. Again, if you think about it, folks, send us an email saying that you want to officialoldwarlock@gmail.com. Send us an email. Still getting over that cold. Send us an email saying that you would like to be a part of our newsletter. Give you a little bit of information about what we're planning on doing, what we hope to do, that kind of thing, and just some fun stuff. So, again, let us know if you'd like to be a part of
that. Usual end of video stuff. Thank you to everybody who watches, supports us on anything. You guys are the best. To all of our patrons on Patreon, thank you especially.
Yep.
You're wonderful. What we're able to do, we are able to do because, in large part, you guys and the contributions you make.
Yes.
We know that there hasn't been a ton of new stuff for you guys recently, but one of our goals soon. Yeah, something just got posted.
Yeah.
And the next time we film here in the next couple days, that's going to be probably our priority, is to get a bunch of Patreon only videos that we're going to put up so that you guys have access to those. So anybody who wants to join, the link will be down in the description below.
Yes.
If not, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Just enjoy what we put up here. We appreciate you guys as well.
Yeah. So without any further ado.
Last thing that we should probably mention.
What?
New website.
Oh, yes.
For everything. We're not quite done with it yet, but we're reworking all of the website. We're putting... it's going to look better. A lot of you are probably thinking, what? They had a website?
Yeah,
yes,
really.
We did.
Yeah.
That we've had for a very long time, but we thought it was time to update it. So we're going to be making a lot of changes there with some new features you might be able to access. We're talking about putting up some of our products for sale on there at some point. So if you want to check that out, please do. But it's not ready yet. But we'll announce when that's ready to be looked at. Yeah. I think that's it.
That's all I've got. So, having done all of that stuff, I'm Jim.
I'm Alex.
Keep your sword on free.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.